In this video, we're going to look at a few ways that you can take your guitar soloing that is stuck in some very stock and traditional ways and turn them into some very, very creative modern approaches. Let's get right into it. So to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a vamp that we can use to be soloing over. It's going to sound like this. And the appropriate soloing tool that we would use over this vamp looks and sounds like this. Okay, so for the keen-eyed among you, what I've just been playing there is something called the Dorian mode in the key of A. Now, to play creative solos, a lot of guitar players are stuck playing bog standard minor pentatonic. Now, there isn't anything particularly wrong with that, but if you are coming to a video like this looking for creativity, you're probably fed up with only playing inside that minor pentatonic scale. So what we're talking about first things first here is being able to look at the harmony that you are playing over, which that could be any backing track that you've picked on YouTube. If you're a hobbying player, you might be out there playing professionally, looking at chord harmony that's in a song that you're playing over in a band or a covers band. You might be writing your own material, anything like that. We're going to look at this just as a static vamp thing, but you could apply this to chord changes and all sorts going forward at a later date. Anyway, the chord vamp that I am playing over basically sounds like this. We've got an A in the bass, and then I'm moving around triads. Okay, so what's happening here, we've got a D major triad to a C major triad, back to that D, and then an inversion of the C, all being played over that A bass. That's done on the keyboard. Then we've got a bass line that's going around in the background. Now, that's why I have been able to figure out by looking at that what I want to play is the Dorian mode. Because when I look at the notes that are in the chord vamp, firstly, I've got A itself, then I've got a D, and then I've got an F sharp. And then over here, with the C chord, I've got the G, I've got a C, and I've got an E. So out of those 6 notes, basically that's spelling for me that if I want to keep this a minorized chord thing, that I want to a minorized soloing thing, I want to use A Dorian. Now obviously if you don't understand the theory side of that, that is a problematic area, being able to look at your harmony and then going, what can I play over it? So if you need more help with that sort of stuff, I would suggest taking a look at the links in the description to understand them kind of things more. But if you understand the theory side of what I'm talking about here, then once you've been able to look at your vamp and you can ascertain what scales that you are going to use over that particular vamp, what you don't want to end up doing is just playing up and down the scale, okay? So what you would probably want to do is take something like the caged position of this particular scale and then go, right, in all 5 cage positions, what is going to be some vocabulary that I can play over a vamp like this? So if I just play some Dorian lines over this, I might be able to play something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm talking about being able to play just around that shape here is shape-based vocabulary. So you've got lines and licks and runs and all sorts of things that can be played within that shape, okay? So that's the first thing that I would suggest that you want to do, is start developing shape-based vocabulary, okay? Now we can talk about this all just in shape 1 particularly here, but you don't want to just be playing based on the scale. So if we have a look at the 7 notes that are in the scale, what you can start doing is looking at other harmonic devices that you can extract from within the scale. And that also helps you sound much more creative. So at the moment, I'm playing a 7-note modal scale. But what I could do is say, right, I'm going to boot one of those notes out and just play with 6 notes only. That's something that we call a hexatonic scale, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of the 6th, and I'm only going to play with these 6 notes. So I'm going to play the root, the 2, flat 3, 4, 5, and then to the flat 7. Look at this is that it's kind of like your traditional minor pentatonic scale that you already know, but adding in the 9th. Okay, so that's something that we would call a hexatonic approach. 6 notes that live within your scale. Now, I've knocked off the 7th, not the 7th, but I've knocked off one of the notes. So I'm not playing with 7 notes, I'm playing with 6 notes. If we go down the scale pyramid a bit more and only play with 5 notes, what we're looking at is pentatonic forms. Now, of the traditional minor pentatonic scale form that you're looking at, there's actually 3 pentatonics that live within any modal scale that you could use. So how we figure this out, what you're going to do is go from where your Dorian mode is, go back to your parent major scale. So the parent major scale that A Dorian comes from is G major, which looks and sounds like this. So what we can do is harmonize that scale to figure out where there are some minor 7 chords, and then on that we can build minor pentatonic scales. So if I was to harmonize a G major scale, we have a G major 7 chord, then we have an A minor 7 chord, we've then got a B minor 7 chord, we've got a C major 7, we've got a D dominant 7, we've got an E minor 7, we've then got F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then we're going to go back to our G major 7. Okay, so by looking at that, we've found that we've got 3 minor 7 chords. We've got A minor 7, we've got B minor 7, and then we've also got E minor 7. What that means is over our vamp, to sound Dorian, we can actually play those 3 minor pentatonics. So here is A minor pentatonic, that's the root and home pentatonic. We can also play B minor pentatonic, sounds like this. And we can play E minor pentatonic, that's going to sound like this. Okay, now the way to look at this is that every time that we play one of those 5-note entities, what we're doing is we're taking the 7 notes that are applicable to that particular chord and we're extracting 5 of them. Okay, that's why this works. So when I'm playing, say, E minor pentatonic, you want to just look at that as a structure that lives within A Dorian that you can make music with, okay? Now you always want to be resolving those things to notes that are allied to your chord, like your root and your third and stuff like this. But I'm playing over an A minor 7 vamp here, and all I'm going to do is play E minor pentatonic. Resolve that up to the A, but everything that I've played up to there so far it's all E minor pentatonic. Okay, now we can carry on doing this by extracting again. If we take another rung up the scale pyramid, as I like to call it. We're going to knock off another note, so we're not going to look at pentatonic forms, we'll look at arpeggios. So again, going back to our harmonized G major scale, we know that we could play G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, etc, etc. So let's take a listen to some of these arpeggios being played against our backdrop. So to start with, here is G major 7, sounds like this, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we've also got A minor 7, the home chord, which sounds like this, 2, 3, 4. Do the same thing with B minor 7, which sounds like this, and a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm resolving that to an A there to put it into context. C major 7, 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds lovely. D dominant 7 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor 7, which sounds like this, and a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finally F sharp minor 7 flat 5, which sounds like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are all of the arpeggios that live within your Dorian mode, so to speak. We could then do the exact same thing again. We'll repeat the process by knocking off one of the notes, and then we can play triads. So you could go through the whole gamut of the triads that live within the key. So we've just been through the arpeggios. You could do the same thing as G major triad, A minor triad, B minor, C major, etc. And then finally, after that, you can go through all of your intervals and all of that stuff. So like you can play intervallic passages of seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths. Then what you want to do after all of that is start combining these things with the various technical approaches that you have in your arsenal. So if it's legato playing that you like, or if it's alternate picking, or if you're a tapper, if you're into string skipping, if you like sweep picking, what you want to do, armed with all of that knowledge, is then combine these different technical approaches that you have to how you would execute your ideas. And then finally, if you develop a musical vocabulary that allows you to use them with rhythmic interest, and you can apply that to various chord forms, so major 7 types, minor 7 types, dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, and then altered dominant chords. There are other chord types, but those 5 are the main chord types that you'll ever come across in most modern Western music. Then you would have an almost limitless way of interpreting modern chord progressions, which, as the title of the video was, how do you become more creative on the guitar? So if you are interested in taking these kind of ideas further, what you would want to do is go to the link in the description where you can get access to my free course, The Cutting Edge Guitar Blueprint, where I'll go much further into all of this stuff in detail. Alongside the video course, I'll also give you a downloadable PDF to go through, and I will email you for 30 days straight a whole host of tips and ideas of how you can put all of this into action. So go to the link in the description, go and grab your copy of that now, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Take care.